show you how to make a terrarium. They are so much fun to get your hands dirty making, and they look great in your house, and they last, and they're just a lot of fun. So let me show you how to do it. The first step is to find a container. So I have an old glass lantern here, which I thought was kind of fun because you could hang it somewhere in your home as a little bit of a, terrarium surprise, or just leave it set out on the table like this. It looks pretty cool. You can use almost any type of container to make a terrarium. So a rounded shape works well, small, large, really sky's the limit on these. I will say that traditional terrariums usually have lids and they're closed systems. I'm going with sort of a quick and easy version of a terrarium that isn't a closed system, so it has an open top. These are a lot easier to care for, and they just last a long time, and it's simple. So again, that's my choice today. After you found your container, the first step then is to put a little dirt down into your vase. So I already dropped some down in there, and I'll get the rest in now. Just have regular potting soil. And then once I have the dirt in there, I'm going to drop in a few pebbles. And I'm doing this so that I can mix them into the dirt so that they can keep the dirt from turning into, sort of a big soupy mess of mud, all right? Because there is no drainage in this terrarium, I don't just want a mudslide at the bottom. So my pebbles help keep that from happening. So I've got those in there. The next step is to put in your plants. So I've selected 3 different types of plants because you don't want to overcrowd the terrarium. So the plants need a little bit of space to grow. And I have succulents here. Now, I chose these because they're so easy to care for. You really can water them once a week, sometimes even go 2 weeks, which is great if you're going on vacation or, just don't have a lot of time to devote to your terrarium. So they are small and cool looking, and I'm just gonna tuck them right down in here. Now, there are so many different types of plants that work well in terrariums, so don't think you're limited to succulents. I've got a tall one here. I told you we were going to get down and dirty, right? As the soil comes off, and I'm just nestling it in so that those roots can take hold into the new dirt. I've got one more piece. So I chose 3, again, 3 different types of succulents just for the look of it being a little bit different heights, different shapes. You can use all the same, it's completely up to you. All right, now these are all in there and they're secure, I can tell. The next thing I'll do is take a little bit of moss and drop this in here to cover up the dirt. So the dirt looks okay, but the moss looks better. It's nice and green, and it'll actually help keep the soil kind of moist. Get that down in there. A few more pieces of my moss. It's already looking good. I love these things. All right. And this is a great project to do with kids or even with friends. You can have a terrarium making party. I've hosted many of those. And, one person can bring the plants, one person can bring the soil, another person with the rocks. It could be a lot of fun. All right, so I've got my plants in there and my moss. Now I'm going to add a few larger sort of river rock type rocks to drop down in there. These are just natural color and just look cool inside my terrarium. So this is completely optional. It's just for fun. And if you are doing this with kids, or you're sort of whimsical in the way I am, you could put in, a little gnome or a little frog, pretend one, of course, for fun into your terrarium. It would be kind of a fun surprise for someone to see later. So I've got that down into the terrarium, and that's it. It's so simple. The only other thing that you should know about your terrarium is that obviously you'll want to clean out the insides a little bit. So right now I just have a dry paper towel What you don't want to do is put any sort of Windex or something with chemicals inside of your container. So a little bit of warm water, if you need to, a bit of vinegar and water to clean the glass, again without chemicals. That's good for the plants. And then when it's time to water them, and really I'd say if you're using succulents once a week, once every 2 weeks, you just go down and pour a little water inside. And you can always check the soil. So if the soil is really wet, stop watering. If it's super dry, you need to water more often. But as long as these terrariums get a little bit of light, the plants will grow and thrive, and they're just a wonderful, fun, simple way of having some outside in your house. So enjoy and make a terrarium. Thanks.